Hey there, so in this video we're going to cover a couple things. We're going to talk a little bit about plumbing. We're also going to talk about electrical, which is what I'm working on right now. But to give you a little overview of what we've got here so far, when this house was originally purchased, there was a pantry. We're actually in the kitchen area, which has been completely gutted at this point. There was a wall that came across here and all the way across. There was a pantry on this side, and then you'll see that's a door opening. There was a door there that made this a bathroom. There was a little bathroom in there. And my daughter decided she wanted to move the bathroom to the other side into a closet over there. I'll show you over here if you come this way. So we decided this was a closet. This was all open here. All this framing wasn't here. This was just a big opening. It was just a closet. This is the entry to the house right here. And it was decided we're going to turn this into a little bathroom, a little powder room for guests or anyone else in the house. This would open up the kitchen for a lot more space, so there'd be a lot more room for cabinetry. The idea is to have some built-ins, some cabinets, and probably a large 48-inch fridge here, and so on. Anyways, so to give a little overview of where we are so far, we removed the walls. Once we removed the walls, we discovered there was a lot of plumbing. The master bathroom's up above here, and there's a downstairs as well, but the plumbing all came down inside these walls, and there was electrical as well. There were some other things going on, so we had to move these things. So we also wanted to add an island with the sink. So I came in and basically just plumbed in a new 3-inch line, just reran that. It turns out, if you come over here and look closely, you'll see these are PGI systems, and you'll see down there there's a big joist or a beam, actually a beam that runs down as well. So the plumbing wasn't quite straightforward to just move the toilet and re-plumb it. We had to go all around the beam downstairs, open up the walls down there, open up the ceiling to get to the floor, rerun a new 3-inch pipe on that side in the closet over there, which is now the new bathroom, over and drain into here as well. So I'll show you a little bit about that in a minute. But anyways, we brought it down, make sure all our venting is done properly. If you do this for yourself, make sure you're venting properly. I'll talk a little bit about that on the other side of the bathroom there. But we ran a drain for the incoming sink that'll be in the island. We also ran some hot and cold there for the sink. Reran this. We probably could have done PEX here, which would have been a lot easier. My son-in-law was doing that there, so he went with copper. I don't know why I didn't think of PEX. Should have talked about that in the beginning. Anyways, quite a journey to go through. So let's take a look here. What we got now. We also ran electrical. So in this bathroom we had it was on its own circuit. So I just ran through the joist. So I was able to find some holes there and get to the other side and run the line in. And there's a couple of things to think about when you're running electrical. Electrical is real simple. Now, I'm not an electrician, but I've done a lot of bought homes and remodeled and done a lot of electrical and plumbing. Pretty much everything to do with a home, I've done some part of it, if not being a part of it with the crews I've hired to do it, or been doing it myself. But the main thing to know about electrical is, look, when you get a switch, essentially all that's happening is that you have a device which might be wired to, say you had a light that was wired to this device on the other end. You have this is a 2-pair. There's a black and a white wire and a ground. And essentially the white wire is connected on all cables. That's what keeps the power going through. And then what happens is you have your black wire, you interrupt that with a switch. You do not run a white on one and a black on the other. You actually run, so this would be the light, this would be one side of it. You would go just onto one side here, and then on the other, you would have the other black coming from the power, the source, coming right in here. And basically all the switch is doing is either that's on or off. It's either open or closed and sending the signal to the light. Now the white, of course, they're all tied together. The white on the light would tie into all the other whites and tie directly into the white here. And basically that would complete the circuit there. Now the other thing to look at is that you're also going to put electrical. You have, typically if you look at this, you will have a white and a black on here. Now, most electrical outlets, I think all of them do, they have a kind of a gold colored screw and then a silver one. The silver one, it's real simple. You just hook your white to that, and your brass or gold colored one, you would hook the black to that. okay? And that basically creates a circuit, and then when you put something in there, it's bridging the gap and sending the signal there. So, but here's what we did here. This was kind of tricky because I had a cable that came in, and I didn't want to rerun electrical. So if you come over to the side, let's take a look here. I came in up top. You might want to step back here. And came in up top and into this box here. Now what we've done is I created kind of a little custom framing here. We're going to put some LED lighting up in the top. We want that to come on with the regular lights that are going to be above the sink as well. So we've got several things coming into this room. We have an outlet. It has to be GFI. It's in the bathroom. It's going to be near the sink. Ground fault interrupt is what GFI is, and that's just by code in my area. It's required. And then we're also going to have a fan, which you can see right here. It's going to be a fan. We plumbed in a toilet. Toilet's coming here. And then we also are going to power LED lights, which will actually plug in up there. It's going to be a recessed receptacle. And then we built this little drop-down box, and this was kind of to conceal the vent tube. So just real quickly, this is a vent for the toilet. We also, my daughter wanted a sink in the utility room, which is on the other side here, like a hair sink. She does hairstyling and so on, and has private clients. So we went ahead and plumbed in a sink here since we're open. Now you can see we use PEX. This stuff is just great to work with. And then over here we ran another sink, just plumbed in here, and this is all new plumbing. And what I did is I just tied the drain. So this goes down to the drain, which happens to be, this drain was existing. There's a bathroom above here, a Jack and Jill bathroom for a his and hers bathroom right above this. So this drain happened to come down. So we tied right into this drain. I was able, and this goes down in the floor into the lower floor in between the joists and then goes out to the main line there. So I tied that line into there. And of course you need to vent every sink that you have. And you can do what they call a wet vent, and I don't know the exact code on it. Again, I'm not a plumber either, but I know enough to know that you have to vent it. So this vent actually had to go out. All vents run out through the roof. So we had to run this upstairs, and I had to find where it was. And luckily this sink was above, so I actually just tapped in. If you see, these vents all tie in and go up, and they go above. For a vent, it has to be above any sink, above or below it. So we went to the sink above, and I went up above that and tied into the vent that was already existing. So I could do that and just vent it right out. It already runs out through the roof. So that way I'm above the sink line or the water line up there. It gives a clean run for the vent. And then we have the drain. And then this drain for the toilet, of course, we plumbed and ran over to the main line that you saw over on the other side of the joist there, but it all runs into the main line for the sewer. So there's that. So back to the electrical. What I did on the electrical is I had the main line coming in here that was hot, and I had to power the whole room from that. And I didn't want to run a bunch. What some people do, I see, is they run lots of wires back and forth to different things, and I wanted to have minimal wiring. So I ran a 3-pair line down to here. And this one will be hot. This is 3-pair will come into here. And the reason I did that is because if you put this on a switch, you're going to lose a pair and you can't go any further with it. And of course, I have an outlet here I wanted to power as well. And then I also wanted to send power to the fan. So basically what I did is I brought this in. Now you see in a 3-pair, you have an extra wire. So I'm essentially going to use this as the switch leg for this particular wire, which will also goes and terminates into that box, which will control the LED lights as well. And then I'm going to run a 2-pair wire, not 2-pair, it's 2 wires, 2-wire over to the outlet above the sink right over here. And that's going to power that. And this will all tie in. So one switch on one wire is going to power that. It's going to send power to the lights. Just toggle that on and off, turn the LEDs on and the sink switch. Then I also have here, this will be the fan. This is going to run up to the fan. And then I have another one, well, one of these actually, let's see here. Either way, one of these other ones run right into the outlet here. So essentially what will happen is all the whites will be connected together here. Boom, boom, boom. All the blacks will be connected together. And then we'll have the, actually the black and the red for the other switch will go up to that way. So that's it. And this will go, actually the red and the black on this particular one will go onto the switch. So pretty straightforward. And we'll see how that all works. When I get it hooked up, we'll come back and videotape it. But this way you see what's going on. So in the future, when you're watching this video and you guys decide you want to add some lights, whoever's watching this, you basically want to know that all the power is feeding from that box up above where the LED is. So if you're going to make any changes or want to add anything, just keep that in mind. If you start messing with this box, you might mess up the whole system here. All right, good deal.